everybody, Happy New Year, I hope you're doing well. Today I want to make a tutorial for Brandi Carlile's Downpour, which is a song that I covered a while ago and got some requests to make a tutorial for, so here we are. Before I start, I'd like to really quickly say an announcement. This is something I'll be talking more about in a video tomorrow, but I wanted to say it really quickly now. I've started a Patreon page that you can go check out and support me if you would like, and also get access to a patrons-only sort of news feed, Facebook page kind of thing. That's a whole community of us together, people who like my stuff. So if you feel inclined, I have a link to that in the description down below. So let's get started. The part you heard me play at the beginning of this video was the introduction of the song, which has a chord progression that is pretty repetitive throughout this tune. This song involves a bit of flat picking, so you have to have a pick available to you unless you want to do it the way that I covered it, which was finger picking only. But I want to teach you guys what's more true to what was actually in the recording. So the first chord, as you can see, is a G. And to kind of break down what we're doing, we're going to have some hammer-ons and pull-offs quite often, so keep that in mind as we continue. We're going to start with picking our low E string with that G right here. And then we're going to alternate. We go low string and then go into the D string, open. So G, D, G, D. And then we go A, while also alternating back and forth. So G, A, B, C. All with alternating, going back and forth to this D string here. So okay, and then to go into the C, we're going to do a hammer-on, so like that. You pluck open with that B right here, and then we hammer on into the C, and also alternate going down to our D again. So far what we have is, okay, so that's kind of the first half of that melody, and then we go still alternating back and forth with that D. I think occasionally there's some G's in there. This string right here, we get those that happen here and there. So if you happen to miss the D, I don't think it's like a huge deal. It's all in the chord, you know. So from there we move on to having this sort of D over F sharp shape, except we're not doing this stuff over here, as you can see. We're not going to include these two fingers. We don't even really need this one either. You just kind of need that F sharp up there. And we do F sharp, D, E, D, G. And then we make our bass note a G, and we go the same pattern, except for that new bass note. So both of those things together sound like this. So for the second part of the melody, we're going to start on this B right here, the second fret of the low A string, and we do our alternating thing again, except we're going to go for sure down to the G this time. So this string right here, it's going to go and then to B, and to the open D there. So then we'll do our hammer on here, and then up to our G. We have that D string open twice. Just like that. And then we're going to do a D over A. So the A is going to be our bass note, which is weird for a D chord because normally you want to start on that D string, but this time we're going to go down to the A string. So it sounds like that, because this is the next note in our melody. It's a G right after that. So this is what we have so far. So from there, you're going to do a little walk down to E minor from this G, and make sure you're hitting mainly those low strings down here so you can really hear that walk happening. Okay, so it's G. So keep the same fingers happening down low here, these little ones, and then you just switch the bass note. So as you're going down to E minor, like that. Then the next chord is B minor, then C. Again, I usually like to do my G on the top just because that feels natural to me, but if you want to do it this way too, that's cool. And within this C, we actually have another little melodic thing happening. So it's, okay, so it's this finger right here, the middle finger, on the 2nd fret of the D string, and it's gonna go. So practice that a couple times. It's a hammer on right there. Pluck, hit, then up to the G string. Then we're gonna hit it again open. And all together it sounds like this. And really you can kind of strum most everything here just as long as you're putting a little bit of emphasis on these strings where you're doing the hammer on and pull off kind of thing. Okay, so that little interlude part sounds like this. B minor, C, G, G. And we're going to do our little melodic thing going down once more to end this out. And then there's also this little fun thing that happens too. It's cool. I'll show you that really quick. You're gonna pluck your low A string and hammer onto a B, and then you're gonna hit the D string, and then an open low E string, like that. So all together you get. Alright, so now let's get into verse 1 and all the verses, and then when the first verse returns again, it's the same kind of thing. So you have G, and you're going to want to have a little bit of that first like melodic thing happening. So you're going to do that going into an A minor. So here's that again. Like the rain in a day. D for downpour. How it's just like the beginning little sections of those phrases, and then it goes into just a solid chord. So A minor, again B, G, E minor, B minor, C, G, G, D, G. And you can include that or not include it whenever you really want to, because she kind of switches back and forth when she decides to add that in. Okay, so that's verse 1, and then it repeats again for that next little stanza, which is the exact same thing with different words. And then we go into this little pre-chorus bridge thing, and it goes like this. Like a C, C over B, A minor, just like that, C, C over B, A minor, and then you're gonna have an E minor on in a crowded D room, G, I'm alone, C, same thing again, C over B, on D, and then I'm like the rain in a downpour. So something I should have mentioned probably at the beginning is this song is in 6/8, which means that you have to keep that feel going the entire time when you're strumming. So if you want to check it out right here. keep the strong beats on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you usually want to have a down strum on 1 and 4. And I really don't do the same thing the entire time either. It kind of just depends on what feels good to you. As long as you have that really strong 6/8 feel, you're probably in good shape. Okay, then after that little pre-chorus bridge thing, the first verse repeats, except louder and more involved and up an octave when she sings it. So basically you're just going to use those same chords and play them a little bit more powerfully if you feel like doing that, have some more dynamic contrast in there. But I don't think there's quite as much of the thing happening. I think it's really just... So, exact same chords, just strum those things and feel it in your soul, you know. So after that is a little instrumental break. If you happen to have 2 extra arms, you can play cello, but if you don't, you can maybe sing your own little improvised thing, or just kind of play the same thing again. You could do some fun stuff here, you could do some of the melody thing. And because it's such a high point of the song, you probably want to play it louder overall. Alright, so the last thing after that big instrumental section is basically another stanza of the verse. So the exact same chords again, except you're going to go back to the same way that you played it the very first time. So having the melody in there, the first little part of the phrase, and then having a nice strong open chord. So. Just like that, like we went through before. And then she does this little repeated thing at the end. I'm gonna be there. And then to end it out, she does the same thing she did at the beginning, where she goes. And she ends in a nice open G there. Okay, so there you have it. That's how to play Downpour. If you guys have any additional questions, please put them in the comments below. And if you'd like to watch my cover that I did of this song about a year ago for the Brandi Carlile Cover Stories contest, I'll link to that in the description, and then I'll probably put it somewhere either here or here at the end of the video too, so you can click on that. I don't play it exactly correctly, fun fact. There's 2 parts where I play like totally wrong chords. So refer to this if you're looking for a reference for how to play it exactly the way it's on the recording. Once again, Happy New Year. I hope you have wonderful things in store for you this year, and happy playing of this song. See you guys.